Welcome into Ben's Restaurant in Berlin Center, Ohio. It's Chris Colucci with Coach Dot.
How's it going?
It's going good. Boss is, not here right now, so you got to step in.
Yep, I like it. Sounds good.
Just gonna move just as normally. It's gonna be probably a little bit better.
A little bit of a smoother talker than
We
him,
won't tell.
but
We
he's
won't
yeah.
tell. We
That's
won't tell. So let's recap Camel last week. You guys had a really good game offensively, defensively, a little sloppy at some times. But what'd you see? Just give me your what you as a coaching staff, what you guys thought.
yeah. We knew that Camel was a much improved team than they've been the last few years, but we knew that we would be able to run the football, and we've done a real nice job up front with our offensive line. And Coach Armini always alludes to the three-headed monsters we have in the backfield. Those guys at any moment can take it to the house, and even when they don't, they're very effective carries. And then defensively, we thought that if we could get after their athletes a little bit, continue to stop the run like we've done all year, that once we chase them to the air, we could force some turnovers, and we did. We had Nate Alexander had 2 picks. He could have had a couple more. We had a couple other guys get hands on football. So, we were able to execute our game plan, and it was great to be 1-0 again.
It's funny going from an interviewing a guy an offensive guy every week, going from a defense because we just heard defense, and the three-headed monster. Yeah, we got them, but no, it's all good, all good. Big game this week. It's probably your guys' biggest regular season game. Not in the holdout from the other great teams you guys played, but Springfield. Chris told me that the last 10 meetings, Springfield's gotten the upper hand, and I think this is the team that can really do it. I think you guys got some playmakers that can do it. What do you guys see in going into the Springfield game?
Yeah, Coach Guerrero has done an excellent job, him and his staff. There's a reason they've been, the king of the conference the last 8-9 years, is that they're able to have physical football teams. The players may change, but their physicality and their scheme stays the same. Mm-hmm. And although you may think it's easy to stop, I know, you played for Coach Yeagley, and I played for a coach that was all about, getting in the eye, running the football, physical. Mm-hmm. You think you can stop it until you actually go out and play against it. And they've done such a great job there. I think it's a clash of very similar styles. Just because maybe we're not in the eye, we want to run the football, and we want to stop the run. So I could see this being a very old school, 14-7 type game where hopefully we're on the right side of that. And I think too, Springfield is a team where you don't necessarily need any extra motivation. You alluded to it. I think it's actually the last 12 times they've beat us. It's been since 2015. Some of us coaches, we always have our own motivation. It's 3,301 days and counting today.
Yeah.
So it's like, we have it on our mind. We want to be able to hopefully put that number back at 0.
Yeah.
And we got to have a good week. And so far, Monday and today, we've had 2 good days. So hopefully these next few, we're able to really dial it in to be 1-0 Friday.
Yeah. Just leading right into my next question. How's the mindset been this week? How are the kids' attitudes? How's practice been? How's everything leading up to this game?
Yeah, I think it's still been a pretty dialed-in week. They understand that there are some extra distractions with whether you're the TV game of the week or this media or that media. Mm-hmm. They understand that our goal is to take care of business. Mm-hmm. So I think that although some of the upperclassmen who've played in big games, they're naturally focusing. I think some of our young guys have had some added excitement, and it's shown in practice when those freshmen and some of those sophomores are on our scout team. They're making plays, and they're busting their butt because they know, hey, this is a real big moment on Friday night. So I think they've all dialed it in, and we haven't had to say much. I think that's one of the things that a lot of our players and a lot of us coaches have talked about over this summer and into this season is that they are so close to each other. And I know we've talked about this with the camp out at Coach Alessi's. Mm-hmm. I think it really brought them together, and these guys really are a band of brothers. So and every day at practice, they know when a kid makes a play, we're going to be excited for it. Even if it's on the scout team, and that's maybe that's a first down for Springfield or wherever it may be, or a tackle for loss. They get excited for that, and I think the closeness of that has really dialed in their mentality every week.
Last week, Camel, defensively, they threw some trick plays at you. As a defensive coordinator, how do you pregame? I mean, you don't expect. When they have a good running back, you expect them to run.
Yep.
When they have a good quarterback, pass, run with the quarterback. But it's kind of hard to prepare for some trick plays. How do you, as a defensive coordinator, settle in with some of the trick plays?
Yeah, it's Camel definitely threw some wrinkles that we weren't expecting. Now, I'm not saying that Coach Guerrero won't have any. The fortunate thing is I think we do a nice job as a staff and some of our upperclassmen too, preparing. Some athletes. Gosh, I'm almost going to give this away on the radio on TV here.
No, that's good. That's good.
A lot of athletes put highlight videos online. So just because we may have 2 films doesn't mean I can't go look up, certain player X here and look at, hey, week 1 they ran a reverse pass. It's like, okay, when they're in this formation, let's expect this. So I think some of those things let us dial in, and we've had in the past couple of years, we've had some success with some teams running trick plays because we knew, like, hey, this was coming. Now, again, Coach Guerrero's run a bunch over the years. We've seen it, whether it was Bo Brungard or even last year, the year before with a different quarterback. He has some. Now, this doesn't mean we know about it. Now, hopefully we're well prepared to stop it, but he's definitely got a bag of tricks, I'm sure.
I probably know the answer to this already. Everybody probably knows the answer to this at home watching this. How do you think playing at Western Reserve High School, Western Reserve's football field this Friday night you guys have an advantage going into this game?
100%. There are moments in a season, and I actually think, even though I've seen it over the last few years, I noticed it last week. We go to Camel, to a city that our players are unfamiliar with, our fans are unfamiliar with. Well, we had a pretty good showing there. So now you amp it up with a home game, homecoming, and a team like Springfield. I think the crowd is going to be pretty amped up. There's not going to be an
open seat.
No, there will be people against the fences.
I'm sure by 8 o'clock in the morning, I know my crazy aunt's going to have three her little section she has in the top right. She's going to have them off by 8 a.m.
There will. I know a lot of high schools have tailgating to an extent. There will be some legitimate tailgating Friday. Yeah. I mean, people are excited for this, and I think there will be a bunch of sore voices come 9:30 at night Friday night.
I don't think that there's been this good of a successful season that Western Reserve had in a lot of years, and I think a lot of people are excited for that. I think a lot of them are ready, and for a game like this that, it gets covered by a lot of medias, but we're the best one to have it here on ysnlive.com. Just got to hit a few buttons. Live games, Western Reserve. Watch it on there. It's free. You can watch it up to as long as you want. Watch it on ysnlive.com. Just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
But people are excited.
Yes.
It seems like the energy's there. People want to be here. We're getting great showings for this show every week. What is it like, just talking to parents? What is the sounding like as a parent's perspective?
Yeah, you know what? I think our parents understand that these young men have earned this opportunity. You're always excited, and you played ball at a very successful program, so did I. It was always nice to play meaningful football games in October. Now, back in the day I played when there was only 8 teams in the playoffs. You probably experienced that early on in your high school career. When you're playing meaningful games, it adds a little bit of something. And, maybe a few years ago, for lack of a better term, that Western Reserve was left for dead. And these kids put in the work. Just because, we're the coaches, it's because of them that there's this extra excitement. All these young men that are in front of us here now every single week. So I think because of the work they've put in, it's super easy for these parents to just be revved up, to see the success every single Friday. And it's nice, too, because, a game like this, obviously you want to be able to get everybody in. May not necessarily be the case, but when you put in the work and you have that type of success, when you see a freshman or a sophomore or any type of underclassman get in, and they have success, I mean, it's just the greatest feeling in the world.
Yeah.
It's easy to watch, Chris Pater and Don McCarty and Jack Darney run wild. But we had this a few weeks ago against Columbiana. We stuck Timmy Sorensky in, a freshman, and they're calling for Timmy Sorensky. He got a few carries again this past Friday against Camel. And all of our upper class were real excited for that. And he got a couple decent runs. Yeah. So it's like I think they are just super proud of the hard work that they've put in. And as a result, that's why we have the success. So for them, it's super easy for them to be excited for it.
You touched on the playoffs, and I've asked every coach I could about this. What are your thoughts on, did you like it at 4, did you like it at 8, or did you like it at 16?
I liked it at 8.
Yeah.
Sometimes it had its disadvantages. My senior year at Howland, we were 10-0, and we were the 5 seed, and just maybe scheduling, so be it. When you look at it now, I think 8 is a perfect number because it really rewards the hard work.
Yeah.
And there are some upsets in the first round and maybe even in the second round now with 16 teams, but I think it's truly about hard work at every single OHSA program. And Region 1, for example, has 17 schools. So one school doesn't make the playoffs. And some of those schools that are 16, they're 0-10 or 1-9, and they play St. Ed's in the first round.
Yeah,
it's like, now that's still a cool opportunity.
Yeah.
But it's like, when you put in the work and you're rewarded with a 8-2, 9-1, 10-0 record, and you're hosting now 2 home games with the way the playoffs work, I think that is equally as rewarding. I'm still a fan of the 8. Coach Armini played in the 4-team era and probably maybe just started in the 8-team before he graduated, but I'm always a fan of the 8-team.
Yeah, I was a fan of the 8, and then I think COVID, they let everybody in. You could opt out. I think that was ridiculous.
Wasn't fun.
And then I hated the 16 because in the COVID, we had a bye, I think, and that just completely threw everything off.
Sure.
And 16, it was just the first week. It was like you're a 1, 2, 3, 4 seed playing a really low seed. It's like
yes, and there's times too you may not have happened locally, but I'm sure it's happened in the state where a 1 seed has played a 16 seed. You know what that end result is, but then somebody gets hurt unexpectedly in a game that you probably shouldn't even have played anyways.
Injuries.
So then all of a sudden, here you are in round 2, you're playing a little bit of a better team, and now your starting Z is hurt or your starting left guard is hurt. So things like that happen. Now, we have been pretty fortunate we haven't had that happen. I'm not sure if any area team has had that yet. It'll happen at some point.
Yeah.
And knock on wood, I hope it's not us.
I always remember Coach Egley always said that you got to get there's skill, and then you also got to get lucky.
Yep.
And part of that being lucky is no injuries. And I mean, you guys have been blessed. Knock on wood, like we said, you guys have been blessed with no injuries. Now, gosh, now that I say it, but how important is it for kids, to stay healthy, take care of their body, get the right amount of sleep, eat the right food.
It's
the whole 9 yards.
Super vital. And these guys do a nice job. And KJ, who you interviewed last week, does a real nice job with their nutrition too. He came up with a nice nutrition plan for our pregame meals. So we have you have your starches, you have your meats, you have your fruits, vegetables, all that. He does a nice job with halftime snacks, whether it's a granola bar, fruit. You have your natural pickle juice and all that to work out the kinks of the cramps and whatnot. But no, these guys do a nice job too. But it's super important, especially small school football. We don't have 90 to 100 kids. We have 42 young men.
Yeah.
And you have to be. I think you have to be ready to go from 1 to 42 because you don't know when your name's called, whether it's an injury or something of that sort. So, yeah, it's super important.
All right, now we got some non-related football questions. Just a completely random. Who's the fastest coach? I'm just hypothetically saying, if you lined them all up.
This is no joke. Literally, as a coaching staff, we just talked about this last week. We are going to race each other in a 40 after the season. I swear. This is completely random that we brought this up. My money's on Coach O. Some of our players think Coach Alessi because Coach Alessi could run like the wind back then.
Yeah.
However, I hate to say it, I love him to death because I've known him my entire life. That was 30-some years ago. So my money's on Coach O.
All right. I hope Coach O wins. If he doesn't win, he may get fired. Who do you got coming in second?
Either Coach Sheptalk or Coach Alessi.
I got Coach Armini.
No.
I got Coach Armini.
Listen, so, hey, we're really going to spill the beans here. Maybe Coach Armini should have been here. So after we had this discussion, and we all pretty much said that Coach O would win, then we had the discussion on who would come in what order and whatnot, and some of them have said, like, I would come in second or third, or Coach Alessi or Coach Shep, and there's been a lot of disagreements between that. But let's ultimately allude to, I may not be in the shape I once was in high school, but I was still a skill guy.
Yeah.
Coach Armini was a lineman. Just because he's in better shape, he's still a lineman. He runs like a lineman. It's not happening. Sorry, there's no way.
All right. Now, this is a fun question I ask a lot of the kids. What's your music taste?
Classic rock.
My man. What's your favorite band?
I'm a big Journey and Styx guy.
Okay.
I grew up. My dad always had Journey's greatest hits on cassette.
Okay.
We'd always have Wheel in the Sky playing. I love
That's
Journey.
awesome.
Big Journey.
I'm a
fan.
Van Halen guy.
Okay, I like Van Halen. I like Van Halen.
All right, so they're in their prime. Okay, you're at your age now, in your prime or in your college days, going to a concert of one of theirs, but it's far away. It's like let's say they're in Nashville.
Okay.
That's a country. Let's go Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
You got the beach there. You got some adult beverage places. Let's per se. What are you getting at a gas station before the concert?
I am a huge pop guy.
Okay.
I don't know. That's probably. I feel like I drink too much pop. That's probably why. Yeah, maybe when we talk about what this coaches race that we have, that's probably why I'm not predicted to win it coming first. So I'm probably getting a big 32 ounce or 64 ounce, depending on that, and then I'm either getting some type of chicken wrap, made to order chicken wrap, or some mozzarella sticks. Yeah, Sheetz has some sneaky good mozzarella sticks.
Do you consider Sheetz a fast food?
To an extent. So I always say, when I'm hungry, I could go fast food. But when I'm real hungry, it's a schmergency. So I got, it's a schmergency. Got to go to Sheetz and get
Schmergency.
Yep.
I love it. Coach Dot, good luck Friday.
Thank you.
Great
thank
interview.
You.
It's going to be a good one. I can't wait. I've been salivating every day. I can't wait for Friday.
We're all super excited for it. It should be a good one.
One last thing, Friday night after the game, fifth quarter here at Ben's. The kitchen closes at 11, so come in, get your orders in. Bar's going to be open late. Support them. They support us like no other. They support the kids. They welcomely overstaff and make sure our kids are fed, get the kitchen, get all the fed. Please come out and support them. They do so much for us. It'll help out a lot. Go root on the Western Reserve Blue Devils while they welcome in the Springfield Tigers Friday night. We have it here live on ysnlive.com, the best area local sports high school broadcast. Get here on ysnlive.com. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you.